Learners are back in schools after the government of Kenya ordered the reopening of learning institutions with strict COVID-19 protocols. COVID-19 pandemic disrupted learning institutions that saw learners kept out of the schools and colleges for a prolonged period of time and brought tough economic time which Kenyans are experiencing to date. Learners missed 10 months of their education calendar after the schools were closed last March 2020. There is, however, big hope for parents and students as doors of the schools are now open for resumption of learning. In one-on-one interview with ARF Media Group, the Wajir County Director of Education, Mr. Abdulhamid Maalim, confirmed that the schools were officially open on Monday, January 4th. As per the directive of the government, he promised to ensure that the learners are saved from the infection and the spread of the COVID-19 disease.
My name is Abdulhamid Maalim, the County Director of Education, Wajir County. We opened our schools, primary, secondary, and even ECD on 4th of January 2021. As you are aware that despite the presence of the pandemic, the government decided that schools should open for the remaining classes that did not open towards the end of last year. That is from class 1 to class 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 in the case of primary schools, and from 1 to 3 in the case of secondary schools, and then for ECDs. As we speak today, instructions are given to schools that they observe the COVID-19 guidelines and protocols. And what are these guidelines and protocols? Schools must have hand washing facilities in various points depending on the population of the school. A school with a larger number of population should have larger number of hand washing facilities compared to the one that does not have a large population. That is one. And then use of face mask, very critical. No person in the school is allowed to be within the school compound without putting on a face mask. So students, teachers, non-teaching staff are all required to be using the face masks in our schools in Wajir County. And then at specific places, schools are also instructed to have sanitizers. So, and lastly is the social distancing. Among all these 4 guidelines that the Ministry of Health gives, the only one that might not be strictly applied as schools open is only the social distancing, because the facilities to accommodate only a class of 25 students or 20 is not possible. So, but all the others are implemented. But this one of the social distancing can be mitigated by the use of the face masks. Even though they are close together, once they are putting on their face masks, we believe that the situation is always under control. However, you might see 1 or 2 cases of reluctance by learners putting on face masks, but always instructions are given by the teachers and the head teachers and principals that students must be putting on face masks. And I think the principals, because some of them have a stock of face masks from their own resources, and the student may, for example, especially in the day school, might report one morning to school without a face mask. We have seen 1 or 2 incidents like that. And from the generosity of the principals, they were given with face mask before they go into the class.
Mr. Abdulhamid further said that the first step the schools did on the reopening days was to check the temperature of the student by using the thermoguns. He also confirmed that the schools have isolation rooms in place.
Whenever students reports to school, the temperature is checked. That's the first thing. There's a register that is there to check the temperature of the learners every morning in the case of day schools, every morning. So as they enter, the temperature is there and is recorded. And every school has also an isolation room, and where students whose temperature might be high is supposed to be isolated, and they are in contact with the nearest health facility. The contact of they have been attached to the nearest health facility, such that whenever a suspicious case, that is, and the only case with suspicious we can say is though the student can have other sicknesses or ailments, whenever we see that the temperature is high, then they should isolate the student and then contact the health facilities, so that it can be checked what the cause of the fever might be.
Regarding the turnout of the students, Mr. Abdul Hamid applauded girls, whose reporting was rated at 49%, while boys reached at 5.3%.
Wajir County, we have 50 secondary schools, and all of them have opened. The 50 secondary schools opened, and you see that currently the boys and the girls, the percentage of the girls who have reported to school is higher now than the boys. During the opening time, you'll see that it is the girls that report to school in our county earlier than the boys. So you see that the percentage of reporting of our boys is at 5.3%, while that of the girls, is 49%.
The county education boss further decried the culture of nomadism experienced in the area, where pupils and students were not reporting in the first week of the schools, like the other parts of the nation, where others report in time.
In the public schools, 75%, this being the third day, 75% of the learners have reported. And the statistics we have, that is 80% of them have their face masks, individual students. It is only class 8 and form 4 that the Ministry of Education, the government has provided the face masks for. Only class 4 that was provided, some specific schools. In the case of sanitizers in primary schools, 70% of the schools have their sanitizers, while in primary schools what's most affecting them is the thermogans. Only 60% of them have the thermogans in place. So, but you know, the culture in northeastern, in these nomadic areas, reporting in the first week is usually a difficult task. Unlike the other parts of the country where the first day all students are in class. So, even in the day school, no student has been asked to pay fees on the reporting day. And you see still, our boys are still not 100% in school. It is the girls that are better, at least even in terms of percentage, that they have reported more than the boys. So, and we need to change that culture. That culture where they are saying the first week the school is being swept, and other small business that they have, we should get rid of that culture. And we encourage parents to tell their children that they should be reporting to school on the first day.
Failure by some students not to report in the respective schools, Mr. Abdul Hamid announced that account on every student will be commissioned, and the missing ones be traced through the data of the schools with the help of the law enforcement agencies.
And you see that up to now, a certain percentage, around 20% of our learners are not yet in school. And but the government have put measures in place through the national government administrations. We are in touch with the DCCs, with the assistant county commissioners, with the chiefs, and we shall ensure that we account for every learner, such that if we miss any child, because we have the enrollment as at that time when the schools were closed because of the COVID-19, we are supposed to account for the whereabouts of every child. such that if any student is missing, then through the national government administration, the child will be traced back to his village, wherever he comes from, so that hopefully by the end of the week, we are hoping that we shall be having 100% turn up in our schools.